windy out there this afternoon, but it is a bright, sunshiny day, so that is fantastic. It's about 45 degrees out, and here in the greenhouse, looking at my thermometer, we're right at 80, so this is perfect. How are you guys doing? I am doing fantastic. Today is a great day because it's my birthday. How awesome is that? Something that makes today even better is about a week ago, I got in my seeds from Baker Creek Seeds, and I've been saving them until today to open them. And I thought that it would be fun to bring you guys along and share with you guys what I ordered and kind of what my plans are for the growing season this year. I'm also going to take a little bit of time today to go through the greenhouse and just reassess everything that I have in here, what I need, and kind of what I would like to have, because there are some things that I'm sure that I would love to order for the greenhouse this year. I mean, who doesn't, right? So let's get to it. Don't get me wrong, 80 degrees feels fantastic, but with the sun shining down on me, I'm getting a little warm. So I'm going to take a moment to open up my window and get a little bit of airflow going. Last spring, I ordered a couple of window openers, the automatic ones with the wax tube in it, the ones that will automatically open and close on their own. We never did install them because we get some really high winds out here. I was nervous if there might be a day that I wasn't going to be home and the windows were open because the sun was shining in here warm enough, but the wind would come up, and I did not want my windows to get ripped off. So we didn't end up putting them up, but maybe this year we'll give them a try. This fall ended up being one of the easiest cleanups that I had here in the greenhouse. This gravel helped so much, but I still have a little bit of cleanup left to do because even though I did put some stuff away, I didn't do it well. You know, like I didn't put it where it should have gone. So my shelving unit seems a little bit messy to me, even though in reality it really isn't. Some of the items that I'm going to go over today, I ordered last spring. I have a video on my unboxing of my order, which I'll have in the description below if you're interested in checking that out. So I'll be sharing with you those items, the ones that I didn't use and the ones that I did, and my thoughts on how they performed. This little area is pretty well organized, except for I don't know why I threw this tray in here. It's not like I couldn't have taken 2 seconds to just put those in with the other pots, but I think I'm pretty good on pots this year. These are all recycled and ones that have been given to me over the course of the last couple years. I do save my plant tags. Some of them I will reuse because I'm going to regrow the same variety. I mean, they're not that expensive, but I've already got some, and why not at least get both sides used if I can. All right, so these trays here, I ordered these plug trays last spring and I loved them. They made starting seeds so much easier, but you can see I didn't actually go through and use all of them, and the ones that I did use are still in good order, except for they have some of the hard water built up. These I do not need to reorder, but I do love them and I do recommend them if you are into starting your own seeds. I do need to get a few more of these solid trays. I did not have enough of them for my pots after I upgraded my seedlings, so this is on my list to get more of. And then this style tray, I've been given a few of these and they do work okay, but with how warm it gets here in the greenhouse, I just find that my plants tend to dry out a lot quicker if I leave them in these versus in a solid tray. I promise we will get to the seeds here in just a moment, but I still have some items here that I wanted to share with you. A couple of these I did order off of Amazon, and a few of them I bought from the dollar store. There were a couple from the dollar store that I didn't end up using. I didn't really end up needing to, but the ones that I did use, I did like. The unfortunate thing with that is I don't know if they're going to carry the same item this year. I will see if I can find something similar on Amazon that I can link in the description below. Everything that I am talking about today will be linked in the description below, so if you find something that you like, you can find it there. All right, let's move on. It is a little windy out today, so I'm sorry if you get some noise off the panels in here. We did have a storm come through yesterday with some of the most beautiful big snowflakes. It felt so magical, I guess would be the word to say it. Like it was really pretty. Most of it didn't last. The snow that did is only in the shaded areas on the north side of all of the buildings. And now we have mud again, so go figure. Most of the items in this box are nice and dusty, just a fair warning. The first item up is twist tie. This came from the dollar store. This does have a handy little cutter. I did use this in the garden this year. I used it to help hold up my pepper plants. The way that I had them planted, I had them on the west side of my cucumber and my pumpkin / butternut trellises, and so they got really shaded and got really lanky and top heavy. I did use this to help tie that up. I do recommend something like this. Obviously you can use string, it's a little bit more biodegradable, whatnot, but I did appreciate how this stood up to our winds that we get out here. I will be using this again. This next item did come from the dollar store, and these I will be trying to find on Amazon. I loved these things. These come in 2 different sizes, so we have small here and we have the larger one right here. I use these to help support my pumpkin plants, butternut, and cucumbers as they were growing and starting to trellis up my panels. These were really handy because I could just clip them on and they would hold, and then as the plant got taller and started to come down, I could either use another one higher up or just take this right off and insert it where I needed it. Cheap, but very effective. This is the automatic window opener, and like I said before, I hope to put these up this year, but I'm still on the fence because I really don't want my windows ripped off if I happen to not be here on a day when it's windy. From my understanding, when these are in the open position, it does have the option to unhook it and you can close it, so like override the wax rod in a sense. And partly too is I think these are going to require a little bit more stability than what our frame probably has right now. I'm just going to lump these 2 items together because I didn't use them. I got them both from the dollar store and I just did not end up needing them. The reason why I picked this out is because it is a rubber coated wire, so I figured that it would be gentle on the plants if I needed to use it, but I just didn't end up needing to. I did contemplate using this when I used the twist tie to support the pepper plants, but I didn't because the pepper plants were a little bit further away from the trellis and I just didn't feel that I had enough of this to accomplish the job that I needed to get done. But to me, this item would be a lot gentler on a plant than the twist tie would be, especially if it was moving because of wind, which we do get around here. I did mention these just a little bit ago. These are just some basic plant tags that I had ordered in the spring. I do recommend these. These are really handy. They are plastic, so they do hold up. I do like to be frugal, and I have used these in the past. One of the things that I will do is I will cut them in half. As you can see, this one is just half of one of these, so that works really nice. And then the other thing is, come on, they're double-sided, right? Like, why couldn't you use the back side of this? I like to save these and reuse them if that's possible, or reuse them for the same plant. This is for a pickled cucumber, so I can use it again for a pickled cucumber. A very inexpensive purchase and something that you can extend the life of if you choose to. My favorite purchase of all was the seed heating mats. I purchased 3 of these as well as a thermostat. They were a game changer for me for being able to start seeds out here in the greenhouse. I would leave these on at night, and then during the day when it was warm like it is today where it's 80 degrees in here even though it's 45 degrees outside, then I would turn these off so the plants weren't overheating. So there was a little bit of maintenance, I guess you would say, in keeping these running. Now I could automate that a little bit better this year by putting a timer on them, but I still would be coming out here to check on them just in case we do end up having a day where the temperatures do not get high enough because we have the inversion or something else like that factoring in to the warmth in here. I highly recommend the use of a seed heating mat, especially if you are in a colder climate or you want to extend your season a little bit longer by being able to start seeds a little sooner. These make that possible. Okay, this is the spot that I'm most excited for. I obviously know what is in this package because, well, I ordered the seeds, but it is still exciting to be able to get to open your seed packet for the first time. One of my favorite things is growing plants. I just love being out here in the greenhouse. I love being in the garden. Sometimes it feels kind of monotonous to go out and water the plants every day, check on squash bugs or whatever the case may be, but it's also my happy place, and it's a place where I just feel rejuvenated, and being able to watch plants grow and to know that the time and the effort that I put into them, they're going to give back. And also what my kids get from that, like they love coming out here and planting seeds with me. They love transplanting plants into new pots or transplanting them out into the garden. Being able to come out and pick fresh cherry tomatoes off the plant. Things that they helped with, they get to see. And when they harvest it, it's a good feeling. And I'm glad that we are passing that knowledge on and that love and that experience down to our children. This is quite a pretty little picture. It's Chinese pink celery. Curious to know, do they change up the picture on other people's packages, or is it the same one? If you've ordered seeds from Baker Creek Seeds, leave a comment and let me know. I'm curious, like, do you have the same picture as I do, or is it something different? All right, let's do this. Oops. Maybe I should get my scissors over there, but that would take away the fun of making a mess. Like, really. Like really, scissors can't make this look that good. Can you guys see in there? You see all those beauties? The other fun thing about ordering from Baker Creek Seeds is, depending on how many you've ordered or how big your order was, they will stick surprise seed packets in here. First off, we have the long beans. I ordered these with the intention of growing them on my trellis just before you enter the garden. I have planted the purple long beans there before. The beans I planted there before did a really good job. My trellis is a recycled trampoline frame, and then we took the panels that you would put in concrete and Adam welded it to that. So this is what I have planned to go there. Cilantro. I have never been great at growing cilantro. Like, never have been great at growing cilantro. So here we are again. We're going to try cilantro again this year. I am in a 6B growing zone. So yeah, if you are also and you have tips for growing cilantro, please let me know. Next up is the free seed, but I'm not going to show that to you yet. Green onions. I use the heck out of green onions during the summer. Love to put them in tacos, soups. I don't really cook a lot of soup during the summer, but I do use a lot of green onion. A couple years ago, a client of mine gifted me some Egyptian walking onions, and I loved them. They were an endless supply of green onion, and they started growing in February, which was fantastic, but last year my chickens decimated them. Before they did that, though, I gave some to my neighbor, and hers were growing pretty good, and I really hope that they end up coming up this spring, because I'm gonna have to nab some from her to restart my walking onion patch. Carrots. You can never go wrong with carrots. My daughter requested that I order some extra this year because she has a rabbit and she's going to plant some for her rabbit. So if she wants to plant a rabbit garden, more power to her. Like, that's pretty awesome if she's excited to do that. I got some celery, and I'll be honest, I hate celery. It's disgusting. At least it's disgusting raw. But I do like it in soups and stews, and so my goal with this is to be able to harvest it and put it in the freezer. So hopefully that works. Bell peppers, I plant these almost every year. I've never had an issue with them. So these are to help restock my stockpile. Next up are zinnias. I love me some zinnias. Like, these are easy to grow and they're beautiful. I have bought the Queen Lime Red and the Queen Lime Green, I think is the name of it, before. Loved them. Like, absolutely beautiful, big flower heads on those. I plan to plant some more of those this year, but I wanted a little bit of variety. I went a little crazy on the sunflowers. I was running low last year and I didn't buy any extras, and we ended up planting what I had. So I'm actually out of sunflower seeds. I like to grow these for the birds, to be honest. I mean, not only are they pretty, and I think this one's gonna be fun this year, and we always love to see how big these ones get. But yeah, I pretty much plant these for the birds. I like to give them something to eat throughout the winter time. So typically in the fall, I don't cut back my sunflower heads unless the birds have already eaten them beforehand. Then I'll take them down just because they kind of look gross. But most of the time, I don't cut them down and I leave them up so the birds have something to eat all winter long. So these are for us, but they're really for the birds. I did have one more pepper plant. This is a pimento. Gonna try this out. It sounds really good, and I was kind of drawn to them because they have a shorter growing period than most of them do. So we'll see how these do out here. I do have the free seed packet that Baker Creek sent me, but my last one that I ordered is a watermelon. Now this last year I grew watermelon in the greenhouse and it was fantastic. Like, I have never had such great success in growing watermelon before until I grew it here in the greenhouse, and it just exploded. It went crazy and we were able to harvest quite a few off of it. But the one and only downfall to growing it here in the greenhouse was how insanely large and bushy my plants got because of all the runners. This is a bush variety, which I really am curious to see how it does here in the greenhouse, because I got to the point where it was hard to walk in here. I had to be careful that I wasn't stepping on a watermelon. The plants literally took over this whole greenhouse. And the pictures that I had taken really didn't do it justice. Like, you had to visit in person to realize just how insanely huge my watermelon plants had got. So I'm very curious to see how this bush variety does in here this year. The free plant seed that Baker Creek sent me, I don't know how to pronounce that. I don't know. I'm not even gonna try. I'm not gonna try it because I know I will butcher it. But it says on the back that it doesn't really tell me much, just mainly that the plants will have a smooth mustard shaped leaves. So I'm assuming that these are maybe a type of mustard plant. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look that up. I don't have my phone on me right now, or I would do that and I would let you guys know what it is. Maybe when I'm editing this video, I will put a little description of what this actually is, but it's really pretty. Look at those purple stems. Like, that's gorgeous. So maybe we'll have to plant this and see what it does. Is it good for salads? I don't know. I really don't know. So yeah, here's all my seeds that here's most of the seeds that I got in, because one just fell. But I'm super excited because we are heading into seed starting season. Let me know in the comments if there's anything that you guys are growing this year, maybe something new that you haven't before, or something that's a tried and true that you keep going back to every year. Give me some suggestions, maybe something I can try this year or get on my list to try for next year. So happy birthday to me. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. Check this video out if you would like to see when I unboxed all my greenhouse goodies last spring.